Welcome to the Landlady Listen. The podcast where we talk all things real estate, development, and the mindset it takes to build your dream life. I'm your host, Meg Hayden, real estate broker, new construction expert, and a believer in making big visions into a reality. So if you're ready to build it, dream it, and live it, let's dive in. Hey guys, it's Meg Hayden from the Landlady Listens. I'm super excited today. We have Joe Diaz from K-Dubs, but he is a real estate agent and investor. And today we're going to talk about all the things you need to know about being an agent as well as a developer. So welcome, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How'd you get started in real estate and flipping houses, building new construction? Did you ever flip?
So my first flip was in 2016. I bought a house off of Manton Avenue, and it was $120,000. Can't even get a piece of land for that now.
That's
it's crazy.
true.
Just in my lifetime, the amount that the market's appreciated is baffling. But anyway, so I did that flip, and then the next one I got was $150,000 in Woonsocket. That got rid of that in 21, and then I got involved in my first new construction. Insert the lessons. There are a number of things that issues that present themselves with new construction that you don't run into with flips. And I would say pretty safely that 90% of the problems you're going to run into are before you're off the ground. Like, I mean, when we're talking about digging, all right, am I going to hit ledge? So you want to do most of the time a ledge test. Are there sewers?
So like for a ledge test, who's doing the ledge test? How much does it typically cost?
So pretty much, I mean, you could do one yourself. A lot of times people just bang rods into the ground and see if they hit anything. You can get an excavator to dig a hole because you got to get 6-8 feet deep for a foundation, an average foundation. So that's something you definitely want to examine before you buy a piece of land, because if you have to jackhammer and or blast, that's a lot of money.
Tens of thousands.
Hiring an excavator is like, in some cases, $3,000 a day. And if you've ever watched that jackhammering, it goes very slowly. So it's like they chip, and then they get like that big of a piece off. It's nuts. So that can cost a lot. I've gotten lucky the past couple of times. I'm currently involved in Burrillville. I didn't have a problem with the ledge aspect over there. Mm-hmm. And an easy way to see if you're gonna run into that is like when you look at a piece of land that you're considering developing, right? Look around. You can tell a lot about most likely what you're gonna work with by looking around. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of rocks around, like boulders. You're probably gonna find boulders when you're probably gonna find boulders when you dig. If you look around and you see ledge, it's probably underneath you. You know, like Cumberland is notorious for ledge. Almost every lot I've dealt with in Cumberland has run into ledge. Mm-hmm. I've been fortunate enough I haven't had to blast or anything like that. I ran into the project in Burrillville. I ran into a lot of boulders, but luckily they were easily removed by a machine and kept going. But then you have to figure out what kind of a septic system you're going to have to put on the lot if sewers don't exist. Mm-hmm. And the way that's determined is by the water table. So depending on the depth, those systems can either cost $25,000 all the way to $40,000 if you have to use a bottomless sand filter, which is based on the depth of the water table. So that's also something that I would recommend examining before you actually, like in your due diligence period.
How do you do that?
So water tables you get a PERC test. You engage an engineer. They'll do most of the time. Most engineers are one-stop shops. You'll be able to go to them and they do the survey. they'll do the PERC test. They'll bring DEM to do all their approvals.
What's a PERC test?
PERC test is basically, it's a percolation test, and basically they determine the water table on the lot. It involves digging holes and testing the way the ground absorbs the water and the rate at which it does. But don't grill me too much on that aspect of it because
that's why you hire the engineer.
That's why, yeah.
We got a team.
Yeah. You got to get the people to ask that if you want to get
You're
more
like, all
into
I
that.
know is I need a PERC test. And it needs to pass.
And it depends on the results of that to know what kind of a septic system you're getting involved with. But if you have the sewer, you don't have to worry about it at all. My project in Burrowville that I'm wrapping up now, I had some lessons, when I decided not to go to grad school. Each of these lessons is probably costing me what a course would have cost me. So that's the way I look at it. That's how I'm getting my master's now, But
so what were some of those lessons that we learned?
So the requirements for building are not uniform at all. Mm-hmm. You go to one town, they'll require one thing.
Right.
You go to another, it's a completely different set. Mm-hmm. Like, Burrowville required me to repave half the width of the road. Instead of, like, you drive everywhere in the state, it's like there's a patch every 5 feet. I wasn't able to patch it. Of course I wasn't. So I had to repave half the road. And that's only because I did my own research and figured out that I could do that. The town was trying to get me to repave the whole width. So once I did my research and figured out that I only had to do half per their requirements, I saved myself $9,000.
They don't know their own laws?
They try to get
what they can.
They try to get
someone to pay for it.
Yeah, somebody else to pay for it. Like I even went as far as digging into the upcoming road projects they had coming in this town, and figured out that they were actually supposed to repave a different portion of the road. Of course, not the portion that I was going to disturb, but that would have been too easy. So here we are.
So you had to repave like half of the road?
Yes. Yep.
You're fine.
Sorry.
Flip it this way. No, like, yeah, there we go.
Sorry.
There we go. You're good. So how did you even get started? Like, when was the decision that you're like, all right, I think I'm going to pull the trigger and do some new construction builds?
So after having done a number of flips, it got to the point where I couldn't find them easily. Like even now, you have to go to auctions. You can't find them you can get them from wholesalers through the Facebook groups and things, but they don't come up on the market often, which is kind of weird to me. Just as a side note, maybe you as well, because there was a time where they would come up on MLS, but now I'm seeing a lot of them just going to auction, like not even getting listed, which is interesting to me, but what are you going to do? But how did I get involved was the original question before I just went on a tangent.
It's all right. We're all ADD up in this place.
So I got involved after, when I was growing up, I was, much to my dismay, it was miserable at the time, but I learned a lot. My dad mostly worked with a lot of builders. That's where he got the majority of his business.
Was a real estate agent?
Yeah, yeah. And he worked with
second generation realtor.
Yeah. So I had spent a lot of weekends on construction sites at open houses, cooking hot dogs and stuff. And that was not fun at the time because I'm talking 12, 13 years old. What the heck did I want to do with that at that time? You know what I mean? So, but I learned a lot. In hindsight, I learned a lot. Still learning to this day, but when are you not in anything you're doing? You're learning every day, right? So how did I develop an interest in it? I decided to jump into it. The first project I took on was in Attleboro, and I found that a lot just by asking a builder that I was financing through the hard money business what, if he had any land available, or did he know of anything that was available to, and he was like, yep. And he said, I'll sell you the land if you give me the build, and that's how that happened. But then my lesson at that point in time was, I mean, my dad had just passed away. I took that
sorry.
project on. He passed away, and then I kept it going, right? And then I kept going with the house. But I learned the lesson at that time when you get involved with contracts with builders to make sure they have start and completion dates on them. Now, are they always going to meet them to a T? Probably not, because delays happen almost every time, at least in my experience. Maybe there are other guys out there who have gotten lucky, but every time I've seen a new construction, it gets delayed by either contractors not showing up or something not going your way, or you having to go back to the engineer for this or that. The engineer messes up, pegs the house in the wrong spot. And I don't want to say I've seen it all, but I've seen a lot in the few years that I've been doing it, and it's really scary. So when stuff goes wrong, because the build I'm doing right now, again, I won't name anybody, but I paid a professional survey company to survey the lot, peg the house out, so because I knew that nightmare could happen. I had them peg the lot where the house was going to go, where the well was going to go. They did it. The foundation went in the ground. This house is 95% done. Then the town comes back to me and says, "Oh, you're encroaching on the setback."
Oh my God.
Yeah. So naturally I was furious, but how can I go back to the survey company? Like, what proof? So I had to, like I said, the delays happen. I had to sit back. I had to go through the motions. I had to go through a town hall meeting, blah, blah, blah. And then luckily nobody objected, and they were able to, per the town's requirements, make an administrative decision. Thank God. Because if I had to move that house, that's not a small undertaking, and I didn't research it, but it's probably not cheap.
No, it's funny because there was a house in Narragansett. I was door knocking a neighborhood, and I was asking the guy about his house, and he had said that the builder had put the house on somebody else's lot.
Yeah.
And
not to cut you off, but they didn't
have
tell
it.
me. The town didn't tell me until, wait a second, this house was 90% done. They had every opportunity, and this is what I mean.
And they came out, right?
They had every opportunity to
Yeah.
tell me. They inspected that house when the foundation was dug, when the foundation was poured, when it was framed. Never said a word about it. They only said a word about it until it was 90% done, and they're like, "Oh, we got a problem." Okay, thanks a lot. Just, anywhere there's money, there's headaches. It's just, I guess, depends on the kind of headaches you want to deal with. But again, sorry.
I guess we're never using that surveyor again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say their name on camera.
No,
we'll talk
we're not.
afterwards. But
beware.
Narragansett, go ahead.
Yeah, but Narragansett, this builder, they had built, same thing, surveyor, told them where to put the house. He put the house there, and it was on this like land trust. It's like a right of way for everybody to be able to have access to the water. And they're like, well, he's like, "I'll buy it from you. Like, I'll buy the land." She's like, "No, I'm not. It's not for sale. Like, it's a land trust. We're not selling even for you." So they had to move the house. It was like 15 feet.
They had to move it?
They had to move it. She would not sell the property.
Ouch.
That would be a bummer.
Did you hear how much it costs? Did you find out?
Well, it wasn't. I didn't talk to the builders. It was just the people who had purchased it. So they didn't know how much it was. But I'm sure it was very expensive to move a house.
I don't even want to think about how much that would have cost.
Oh God.
And it's like it's.
So I guess
stinks.
that would be a question that you had to just like every time they come out, you're like, "Hey, are we in the right spot?"
So the $5,000 lesson there was, and I say that because that's probably about what a college course costs at a community college. Remember I said, this is my master's degree. So you can actually pay them to go out once it's dug, poured, ideally when it's dug, to just make sure that you have it in the right spot.
How much does that cost typically?
It depends on the company.
Of course. Wait, you mean the company or
the survey? Whatever survey company you use or whatever engineer you use to design the layout for you.
So how did that happen then? The surveyor messed up where it was supposed to go, or the town? What I'm saying is,
surveyor messed up where he pegged it.
Yeah.
And I am 90% sure that happened because I heard it from another builder that I know that they did the same thing. So did I have my doubts in the beginning that maybe my builder messed up? Yes, but no, because I had already witnessed him build. I have already built and sold. He has built and I have sold several houses for him.
Right.
So I knew he knew what he was doing. And I had my suspicions.
What I'm saying is, like, are you able to have when the town comes out, are you able to say, hey, listen, are you sure we're in the right place? I mean, I don't understand why the town didn't pick it up either.
So that is the surveyor's job. So if the surveyor comes back and says this house is in the right spot, what is the town going to come back and say that no, it's not? How do you know that?
Right.
You know, I mean.
So the surveyor came back out and said we put it in the wrong spot.
No,
or the town.
They never admitted to it. The town came back to me and said not until it was 90% done. Just reiterating that because of how outrageous it is. That the house was standing in the wrong spot. Yep. So that was fun.
So if you were to like go back in time, what would you be able to do in order to like prevent that? Besides not hiring that surveyor.
Yeah, probably not going back to them.
Well, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, you know, for lessons in the future, like, what are you going to do so that doesn't happen? Sorry.
We good?
Yeah.
So, like I said, you could pay them to go back out. Now, don't ask me. Pay the engineer that designed the site plan for you.
Okay. But I'm saying, like, the town came out so many times, right?
Yeah. Yep. They did, and they didn't tell me again until the last minute, basically.
So crazy. So everyone messed up on that one.
I'm like, if you're going to tell me that's significant, tell me when the hole is dug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just the dirt.
I'll fill the hole in and move it. That would have been easy at that point. No, you wait to tell me until this house is almost...
It's got a roof on it.
Anyway.
So, all right. So as a builder, it sounds like you need to build your team, right? So who is part of your team when you're building?
So I've got an architect who I go to I know for a fact a number of other builders have used. They have a bunch of pre-drawn templates at their office. You can go to them
What
and
is
say...
it, DSL? What is it? The DSL?
DLR.
Yeah, DLR.
Yep. So you go to them, you're like, I want 2,000 square foot colonial.
Yeah, boom.
And they've got a number of them. Like, I'll custom design my own house someday, but I'm just building these to sell them. So does it need to be any extraordinary design? No. But I'm sorry. I lost track of my thoughts. Where were we?
We were talking about who else are you putting on your team? So we have the architect.
So architect, engineer are the two that I'm going to keep in my back pocket. As far as the trades go, I use a GC who's got all those guys lined up.
Mm-hmm. You're not doing it.
I'm not chasing people.
Because you're an agent, right?
Yeah.
So you know in terms of like what the land is, you know how much the land is, how much it's going to sell for.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the financing.
Yeah.
And then you're just getting the GC.
Yeah, because if it was just me calling these subs, I'm not going to get the prices that my guy's getting.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to show up. Like, I know another guy that was building them himself, but he's like, he's older. He's like, I'm tired. I don't want to chase people anymore. I don't have time to chase people. I have a full-time job.
Well, that's why I think it's important. So like, that's why I love having this show, because I have a lot of different developers that come on, right? And I think that when you get into the development space, you realize that it's just a team that you're building, right? So you have the architect, the engineer, the construction, the financing, and then the sales part, right? And so, you know, some people are the architect developer, others are the GC, and then you have to partner with, you know, an agent. But I think that knowing your role in terms of like what kind of player you're going to be on the team is super important. And it's also, that's why I wanted to have you on the show, because I haven't had yet an agent who is developing, but also creating his team.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for that. But basically, I don't chase, like I said, I don't chase the subs. I got that part handled by somebody. I've got an excavator that I like to use, an engineer that I'll veer off from my builder with.
So is the builder doing like the foundation part, or you just have the excavator?
Yeah,
and
he's
dealing with everything, literally.
No, not even. Like, I have an excavator if need be, but
he's doing everything, excavation.
He's A to Z, and that's the kind of guy I need because I don't have to chase anybody. He does all that. Like, I have a full-time job, so I don't have time to do that. This is a side hustle for me. So when it goes good, it goes good.
Yeah, and then something else we were talking about too is, and something I ask every developer is, what are you typically looking for in terms of a return? And something we were talking about the other day was you're looking for at least $100,000.
So yes, because anything less than that is just not worth the time and the amount of money that I have to put up. Oftentimes I'll try to shoot for 120 so that I might make 100 because, like I said,
you never know.
I never know.
You might have to move a house.
Yeah. Yeah, in which case I'll probably make next to nothing. But that, yeah.
That's typically where you want to be.
Yeah, I want to make at least 100. Like, I did significantly better than that on the house in Attleboro because I was lucky enough. I started that in 21. COVID hit, materials doubled as well as prices.
Right.
So I sold that for basically double not double. It was like $100,000 more than I originally anticipated to sell it for. So
how many houses have you built since you started?
I am on to my fourth one right now.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And if given the choice between building and a flip, building takes
time
twice as long, but the profits are like double.
Well, yeah, and I feel like, I don't know, once I finally do my first build, I just think I like you were saying, there's not a lot of flips out there. People are overpaying for the flips because they're trying to make these like tiny little margins off of their flip. And there's so many unforeseen issues.
Not to mention, ever since they get these flipping shows on TV, everybody wants to be a flipper.
Everyone's a flipper.
It makes our life harder. The people that actually know how to do it. But anyway, go on.
But so talk to me a little bit about even the lending that you're doing.
So what do you want to know?
Who are you lending to?
All right.
How'd you get into it?
So that was another business that kind of fell in my lap after my dad passed away. He had taken it over from another guy who suffered a premature death, and yeah. So here I am. The dominoes fell. And
here he is. Like, how many brain surgeries later?
4.
That is insane.
But I'm sitting here, still talking. So amen.
Thank God.
Repeat the question. I'm sorry.
Hard money.
Oh, hard money. So basically, I will lend on, and not every lender will do this, but I will do, depending on the way the numbers work out, I can, and how credible the investor is, I can give pretty much 80% financing. It's significant. It's significantly more than as far as interest goes, but I think the appeal is there's less red tape than if you try to go to like a bank, and oftentimes you can't get financing from a bank to build a house.
So you're doing new construction?
New construction, flips. More new construction than flips right now because of, like we said, that the flips are far and few between.
Yeah.
I do have a number of people that are borrowing from me that go to the auctions, like I said, but that's I won't lend on a property I haven't physically set my eyes on and walked through. So the people that are doing that and they're buying them without seeing the inside, I have to see it before I'll lend on it because I'm not going to put so I operate in a way that I actually have a network of investors whose cash I invest for them. I'll bring them the project, and if they're comfortable with it, they're like, yeah, let's go. If not, I go on to a couple more people. If they say no, I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. But I lay all the facts and figures in front of them. They say yay or nay, and then it's pretty much that simple. The biggest problem I have is sometimes running out of capital, because you can get in and out of flips most of the time for 6 months or less, but you're probably talking 8 months to a year, 6 months under the best circumstances, but and like I said, in my experience, you're always going to get delays for some stupid reason, whether it be a surveyor not being available or a contractor not coming through.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of the game.
Yeah.
You know?
So what piece of advice would you give new developers?
Do your homework. If you don't know what homework you got to do, talk to somebody that's been doing it, and make sure you get start and completion dates on your schedule.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about like how you work with your contractor in terms of like price, your GC, like in terms of pricing and everything like that. Like, how do you go and find a person to do your construction to make sure that they're like going to do a good job?
So I've got 2 or 3 guys that I'll go to with anything that I find and see what kind of price they give me. Basically what I'll get is a spec sheet. This is what I'm going to put into it. If you want to upgrade it to this is the price for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like my guy that I use more often than not, he likes to put heat pump systems in. I don't like it. It's just a personal taste thing for me more than anything, because they do work. He sold them in $800,000 houses, so it's like a personal taste thing. So for me, when I build houses, I always put propane heat in it. Propane forced hot air. Just because...
well, it's easier to do with the town, too, deal with the town than with propane.
Yeah. So, I mean, unless you got gas, then I would say go gas all day. But if there's no gas, then...
Or quick enough gas.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you obviously got to consider whether or not you got to put a well in. I was selling a piece of land once. This was on the realtor side, where it was in West Greenwich, and they went to drill the well when I forget how many feet down and just didn't get water. Now, when you're doing that, you can go in a different spot, or you can frack. And most of the time, fracking will lead to water, but it gets expensive. It's like every X amount of feet they go down is another $1,000 whatever dollars, you know. So, again, all part of the game, which is why I try to give myself like that margin of error when I'm planning what I want to bid/make on this,
right.
Because when the unexpected happens, it's just
it's expensive.
Uncontrollables, you know.
So one of the questions that I always ask everybody is, what book are you reading or would recommend, or even a podcast?
So, book, Millionaire Real Estate Investor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As far as have I read any books?
That one yet.
Yeah. So if I haven't read any books directly having to deal with building, I've got my uncle is a builder. I've got the builders that my dad was dealing with that I knew from all the way from being a kid. So
with the hot dogs.
I just learned a lot from them, just from talking to them. Like a lot of them will just take my call and answer a simple question for me, which is great. It's invaluable. But as far as books, I can't really recommend. I don't personally know any that have to do with the building game, but I would recommend for somebody looking to do a flip or invest in even single or multifamilies to read The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Very good book. I've read it multiple times because I'm like,
it's good. Each
time I read it, it's like you get something. It's like one of those things, you get something different out of it.
Awesome. You know? And what is your mantra? What would your mantra be?
I mean, could you rephrase the question?
Like mantra, like what's like a phrase that you kind of live by or believe or tell people?
Oof. The G-rated ones, right?
No, we can be R on here. It's my show.
Yeah, so I don't know. Just expect the unexpected would be the best I can give you. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. You know,
I'd just say we're just going to hope for the best.
And
put the $20,000 extra on the top.
Yeah, at a minimum. At a minimum. I mean, you can get very lucky, and I hope whoever's listening to this does, but there's always something stupid that comes up. And it will be stupid. Mark my words. So it'd be like, am I really dealing with this right now? Yeah.
And the answer is yes. Yes, you are.
Yeah. Like I had to deal with having to go in front of the town because, again, that's something else that the surveyor/engineer didn't pick up. So I had to go in front of the town for a variance after the fact. Now, again, $3,000 lesson, right?
Yeah,
like I said, I've been learning
Mm-hmm.
now because I had to go back to the zoning board after I had already after I'd already bought this lot. Had I known that, I would have done that 100% before I closed on the lot. Now, that's another college course, right? That's another lesson on my part. I had to spend money on an attorney. That was a $3,000 ordeal. I had to go in front of the zoning board. I had to wait 3 weeks because they got to put notice in the paper, chance for people to object, blah, blah, blah. I went to the zoning board meeting. People complained.
For that easement then, or the...
It wasn't an easement. That was after the fact. The initial was a variance for the frontage on the lot because, the surveyors should have known that because they were designing a site plan. In order to design a site plan, I would imagine you have to do your research on the setbacks, right? But again, that's something I could have did. That's something I will do moving forward.
Yeah.
But it's just, I now know to look for that stuff moving forward on a piece of land.
Yeah.
And I will certainly be double checking certain items, even though I pay professionals because
They're all just people.
Yeah. Yep. And some smarter than others.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course,
I
anytime.
appreciate it. How can people get in touch with you?
Via cell phone. I'll pick up my phone anytime.
Tell them your phone number.
639-3163. Or my...
That's a straight up Rhode Island. They don't even do no 401.
No, yeah, so absolutely 401. Yes, I'm a Rhode Island resident. So 401-639-3163. Or you can email me, joe@joedias.com. D-I-A-S. And yes, it's Dias, but I didn't correct you earlier because it's such a common mistake that I just let it slide.
That's terrible.
It's all right. It's totally all right. I just let it slide now.
Well, thank you, Joe Diaz.
There you go. See, it's all right. It's all right.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I super appreciate it.
Anytime.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. If you have any questions, make sure that you give me a call, 609-598-2232. If you have any real estate needs that I can help you with, please give me a call. And I hope that you continue to learn and grow from all the lessons that we learn here on the podcast. So I hope you have a beautiful day. And remember to be that positive energy out in the world because you will attract that positive energy. So we'll see you next time. Thank you. That's it for today's episode of The Landlady, where we turn your vision into a reality. Remember, success starts in your mind before it ever shows up in your life. Keep believing, keep building, and more importantly, keep taking action. And until next time, trust the process, bet on yourself, and go create the life that you deserve. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Love you.